All right. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody feeling today? All right. My name is Romeo Hebron. I'm the executive director for the Filipino Migrant Center, and I'll be your MC for today's press conference. Today, we come together to celebrate the leadership of these courageous workers who refused to be silenced. This victory is a powerful testament to the strength of organizing, building solidarity, and community. We're here to uplift the efforts of the Amity in-home caregivers whose brave fight against wage theft and labor exploitation has culminated in a monumental investigation and outcome. In this case, Nancy Reyes, the CEO of Amity In-Home Care Services, whose Nancy has been ordered by the Bureau of Field Enforcement in California to pay $2.3 million in unpaid wages, violations, and other penalties. The Filipino Migrant Center, with our partners Betzetic Legal Services and community-based organizations Migrante South Bay and Gabriela South Bay, have been supporting these workers since 2022 when they first shared with us their experiences with not being paid on time, receiving bounced paychecks, and being misclassified as 1099 contractual workers. This victory today is centered around the earnest efforts of the worker leaders who saw the need to continue to fight and help educate other former and current Amity caregivers on their rights. But this victory just isn't about the final dollar figure. It's about the collective action, the tireless organizing, and the courage of the workers themselves. It's about the leadership, it's about their leadership in the fight for justice and how it's supported by grassroots community organizations like those here today who have long advocated for the rights of all workers. So today we'll hear from two of these workers, as well as community organizations and a legal provider who's been assisting or helping out with the case. And then afterwards, there will also be opportunities for the media to ask questions. So now, let's begin with a statement from Penafrancia Presi Tanuyan, a former Amity worker and current member of Migrante South Bay, which is a Filipino National Democratic mass organization fighting for the rights and welfare of migrant workers in the South Bay. Presi will share more on what she experienced firsthand as a caregiver and the powerful role of grassroots organizing in securing this victory. So let's hear from Ate Presi.
My name is Presi, and I am a caregiver and a mother of four. I work at Amity in home care services for 3 years. As a caregiver, working long hours, most of the time 24-hour shift. We are supposed to be paid twice a month. On payday, I should be excited to receive my paycheck because every take I work hard every week taking care of my patient, and I need money to pay my bills. But sometimes on payday, I would go cash my check with other caregivers, and the paycheck will bounce. Oops. Will bounce due to insufficient funds. I would have to shoulder paying a bank fee. It got to the point that whenever I went to the bank, my heart would pump so fast, wondering if I would pay it on time or not. I would have to call Nancy and tell her I have to pay for my house and other bills. but she would make up excuses and made me run around to, to get my check. While workers like me were suffering, Nancy had many other businesses and appeared to be living a life of luxury. Finally, I said, enough is enough. I decided to talk with my friend who is also a caregiver of Amity. She referred me to Filipino Migrant Center um, and decided to talk about the process. I learned that the problem is not only late payment, but there are also more violations like no overtime pay, no meal break, and many more, which make me more excited to attend each FMC meeting with other caregivers. I feel well supported by many other organizations. I learned that wage theft is illegal, that all workers have rights, and that Nancy should be following the labor laws.
That's right.
Our government should enforce laws that protect workers and not allow businesses owners to abuse their workers. We are glad that the labor commissioner is standing with the workers and making it clear to be to the business owners that wages won't be tolerated. We demand that Nancy do what is right and pay the worker what she owed. There are similar businesses to Amity where workers are experiencing abusive behavior in their workplace. For the workers that are scared to speak up, we need to unite. Everybody needs to come together and join an organization like Filipino Migrant Center and Migrante South Bay. Because when we unite, we have the power and better leverage. Together, we can show our bosses that they cannot mock us or abuse us, and they should be held accountable.
That's right.
The workplace condition will not change unless the workers unite, stand up, and make demands. We know it is not an easy battle, but I believe we can fight back and win when we organize together.
CEO Nancy, you're no good.
Treat your workers like you should.
CEO Nancy, you're no good.
Treat your workers like you should.
Thank you, Ate Presi, for those moving words. Let's give it up one more time for Ate Presi. We're really inspired by your courage and your powerful example. And as a member of Migrante, Ate Presi has also been active in raising this issue to the Philippine consulate in Los Angeles to ensure they do their due diligence to provide assistance to Filipinos facing wage theft from other fellow Filipino nationals. And so now, next, we'll hear from Alma Bernal, who's also a former Amity caregiver and currently a member of Migrante South Bay. Alma will deliver her full statement in Tagalog first, and then English interpretation will be provided by Josel De Los Reyes from the Filipino Migrant Center. So let's make some noise for Ate Alma.
So it's not confusing. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Good morning. si Alma Bernal. Nagtrabaho ako sa Amity taong 2019 to 2022. Simula na nagtrabaho ako sa Amity ay madalas delay ang aking sahod. Minsan din tumatalbog ang cheque. Minsan nakikita ko na may deposit sila pero walang pondo. Siyempre, kapag delay ang sahod, delay din ang padala ko sa pamilya ko. At delay din ang pambayad ko sa mga bills. Kapag delay ang sweldo, tumataas ang blood pressure ko, saka isip, anxiety, hanggang eventually kailangan ko nang magkaroon ng maintenance for my blood pressure. Dahil mahirap ang delay ang sahod, ang sweldo. Nung panahon ng COVID, wala akong PPE. Yung isang mask ko, sabi ni Nancy, ilakay sa microwave para mamatay ang germs. So ayaw akong paalisin ni Nancy sa pasyente ko kahit na may COVID sila. Pero nagdahilan ako na kailangan ko pumunta sa doktor para kumuha ng aking gamot. So nakaalis ako doon. Nakauwi ako. Nakilala ko ang Filipino Migrant Center dahil sa coworker ko. Noon ako ay nagsimulang umattend ng monthly meeting ng workers sa FMC. Una, medyo nervous ako, kinakabahan, pero marami akong nakilalang workers. Unti-unti ko nalaman karapatan ko bilang manggagawa. You know your rights ng FMC. Noong umalis ako sa Amity, hindi pa ako nababayaran ng huli kong check. Noong nabalitaan ng Amity na nagreklamo na ako, kinausap ko ang FMC kaya ako binayaran. Marami akong natutunan sa community meeting. Hindi ko alam na may overtime pay pala dapat. Dahil minsan ay 24 hours ako nagtatrabaho. Noon ko nalaman na madami pala akong sweldo na dapat babayaran later. Later ko nalaman na labag sa batas ng labor sa California ang nangyayari sa akin sa Amity. Madami akong nakilalang iba't ibang organisasyon ng mga Pilipino. Nalaman ko rin na marami pala kaming naging biktima ng web strip of Amity. Lumakas ang loob ko na lumaban, nakumbinsi ako sumali sa Migrante South Bay at mas lumalim ang aking kaalaman tungkol sa mga karapatan, kung paano lumaban at ipaglaban ang aking karapatan. Naunawaan ko din na ang paglaban ay hindi lang para sa sarili ko, kundi para sa kapakanan din ng ibang mga workers na tulad ko. Ang citation laban sa Amity ay isang tagumpay ng manggagawa at komunidad para sa katarungan. Sana matapos na ang pagsasamantala sa mga tulad kong biktima ni Nancy Reyes at ng iba pang agency or any company. Huwag kayong matakot lumaban.
That's right.
Yuhu! Kailangan natin magkaisa, magkakampi tungo sa tagumpay ng bawat laban ng ating haharapin. Sa tulong ng mga organisasyon na kahit ano pa man handang tumulong sa pagkakaisa, pagsasama, walang hindi natin makakamit ang tagumpay. Laban! Salamat!
Okay, I will be translating for Ate Alma. So she said, I am Alma Bernal. I worked as a caregiver for Amity in the years 2019 to 2022. Since I started working at Amity, my paycheck was often late. Sometimes I would try to deposit my check, but there wouldn't be any funds and the check would bounce. Of course, if my salary is delayed, I can't pay my bills or send money to my family. When my salary is delayed, it's very stressful and causes me a lot of anxiety from worrying. Eventually, I needed to take medication due to my high blood pressure. It's very difficult when my salary is delayed. During the COVID pandemic, I didn't have any PPE. I only had one mask. Nancy told me to put my one mask in the microwave to kill the germs and reuse it. I was taking care of a couple who both had COVID, but I was so scared to get infected with COVID. I was able to leave when I told them I need to see a doctor. I got in touch with Filipino Migrant Center after my friend told me about them. That's when I started attending the monthly meetings of the monthly worker meeting at FMC. In the beginning, I was nervous, but I had many other workers in there, and I learned about my rights through the Know Your Rights trainings. When I left Amity, Nancy didn't pay me all of my last paycheck. But when Nancy found out that I had been talking to FMC, she paid me the rest of my check. I learned many things from the meetings. I didn't know that I deserved to get paid overtime wages when I worked long shifts, which were often 24 hours. That's when I learned that I was owed back wages and that Amity was violating the labor laws in the state of California. I met many other Filipino organizations, and I also learned that there's many of us who were victimized by wage theft by Amity. I became more confident to take a stand and fight back when I joined Migrante South Bay. Phew! I learned a lot of information regarding my rights and how to stand up and fight for my rights. I understood that standing up and fighting back is not just for myself, but also a fight for justice for other workers like me. The citation against Amity and Nancy is a victory for the workers and community to hold Nancy and Amity accountable and for justice to be brought to the workers. We want suffering and exploitation of workers to end. To all the workers like me who are victimized by Nancy Reyes of Amity and other agencies, don't be afraid to stand up and fight back. We need to be united towards victory in every battle we face. With the help of organizations that are willing to help in any way, in unity and togetherness, there is nothing we cannot achieve. Just fight.
Stand up, fight back! Stand up, fight back! Thank you, Alma, for sharing your story and journey as a worker leader and community organizer. And so, for those who didn't know, this is also Alma's first time speaking publicly, which also shows how through joining community organizations like Migrante, that we can build our confidence and willingness to stand up and fight back. So up next, we'll hear from Kelsey Chappell, staff attorney with Betzedek Legal Services. Kelsey, along with Yvonne Medrano, also with Betzedek, have played an integral role over the last few years in providing key legal counsel while also working closely with the different Amity caregivers and other organizations to ensure the success of this community-led campaign. So welcome, Kelsey.
Good morning. My name is Kelsey Chappell, and I'm an attorney with the Employment Rights Project at Betzedek Legal Services. Today, I am privileged to stand in support of this courageous group of caregivers who worked for the agency Amity In-Home Care Services. These workers provided essential and compassionate care to elderly individuals and people with disabilities in our community. But according to the Labor Commissioner's citation, these workers were misclassified, denied their rights by their employer, with over $2.3 million of wages and penalties owed.
Shame!
These caregivers worked long and difficult shifts, most often 12 or 24 hours in a row, without receiving overtime pay or minimum wage they were entitled to under California law. They were also paid late and with checks that bounced, putting significant strain on their families and leaving them unable to pay for basic necessities like food and rent. Thanks to the brave workers who came forward, the California Labor Commissioner's Office has issued this historic $2.3 million citation against Amity In-Home Care Services and its owner, Nancy Reyes. We applaud the Labor Commissioner for taking this critical action to hold Amity accountable. This decision is a victory for the Amity workers and sends a strong message that all workers have rights under the law. It is only by having the courage to speak out, as these workers did, that together we can bring employers who exploit their workers to justice. Betsedec Legal Services stands with all workers who fight for their rights, and we will continue to support the workers of Amity and Home Care Services until they receive all the wages they are owed. Thank you.
When I say justice, you say no. Justice!
No!
Justice!
No!
Justice!
No! Thank you so much, Kelsey, Yvonne, and Betsedec, for your hard work in supporting these caregivers through the legal process and fighting for their wages and dignity. So up next is Gabriela Southbay, a grassroots women's organization founded in the Philippines with over 200 chapters across the world. Gabriela Southbay organizes in Long Beach, Carson, and the surrounding areas, fighting for the rights of women and children through education, campaigns, and their vibrant visual art and cultural work. Today, they've written a brief performance based on the conversations and experiences with Amity care workers, which highlights the importance of women rising up for justice. So let's welcome Gabby Sebal, Secretary General, and Kim Brucal, Chairperson of Gabriela Southbay.
Good morning. We are Gabriela Southbay, a grassroots women's organization fighting for the rights of women and children everywhere. We wrote this poem in dedication to the lives and experiences of all fellow women, migrant workers, like the Amity caregivers. And so if you or your mom or dad were an OFW, an overseas Filipino worker, this is for you.
Sorry. Okay. All right.
Walang ibang paraan. Kailangan kong mag-abroad. Hindi lang para sa akin. Para sa mga anak ko. She told me, they told me, there's a land of golden opportunity. To the land of dollars, I must go.
Mama's bag is so big I could fit in it. Tears flowing like a river, I could swim in it. Stomach is hungry. Mama says there's an opportunity, but why does she have to go?
My fingers are run down, but I can't outrun this. Habang lumalaki ang bank account ni boss, nadadagdagan ang utang ko. Rags to riches daw siya. Dating caregiver, naging CEO, Chief Exploiting Officer. She thinks she's Cinderella, but she's actually Cruella.
Sahod itaas, presyo ibaba. Mama's remittances are no longer enough. Feed my siblings or go to school? I'm thinking I should drop and start working too. But in the face of her employer's constant lying, my mother has a strong lion heart. The workers linked arms. Itong tagumpay. It's just the start.
Raise our voices, and they must listen. We must fight. We must unite. End the exploitation of workers. The system will fall, and we will rise. Migrante ng bayan!
Ngayon ay lumalaban!
Ngayon ay lumalaban!
Migrante ng bayan! Thank you.
Thank you. workers like you should.
Your workers like you should. All right. Thank you, Gabriella South Bay, for that moving poem. And it shows how cultural work and poetry and arts really are strengthened and enlivened as we do our integration with workers, as we're really there in the community, right? So, up next, we'd like to welcome another worker in the Filipino community, Nell Parcon. Nell is a leader with Migrante San Fernando Valley, a new chapter that organizes other Filipino migrant workers, including those displaced and impacted by the recent fires in Southern California. Let's give it up for Nell. Ay, sus. Okay. Magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Ako po si Nel mula sa Migrante San Fernando Valley. Ang Migrante ay isang organisasyon lumalaban para sa mga karapatan at kapakanan ng mga Pilipino sa US upang wakasan ang sapalitang migrasyon ng ating bayan at para sa tunay na pambansang demokrasya at kalayaan sa Pilipinas. Nandito po tayo para ipagdiwang at bigyang halaga ang napakalaking tagumpay ng Amity workers at kampanya nila laban sa wage theft. At kasama po natin ngayon sa mga ibang mga supporter galing sa komunidad. Mga miyembro ng migrante at ng iba't mga makamasang organisasyon. Nandito tayo sa LA County na tinatawag na wage theft capital ng Amerika, kung saan mahigit $1 billion ang ninanakaw mula sa mga manggagawa kada taon dahil sa paglabag ng mga employers sa patakaran. Alam din natin na ang wage theft ay isang issue na lalong nakakaepekto sa kababaihan at mga migrante. Ito ang dahilan kung bakit ang tagumpay ng mga caregiver ng Amity ay isang mahalagang tagumpay para sa mga manggagawa. Hindi lamang sa industriya ng caregiving, kundi pati na rin para sa mga manggagawa sa buong Southern California. Sa pamamagitan ng kanilang mga pagsisikap at pag-oorganisa kasama sa mga community organization, nagawa ng mga manggagawa na lumaban sa isang sakim na amo at matiyak na ang CEO ang Amity na si Nancy Reyes ay pinatawan ng parusa upang bayaran ang $2.3 million na utang sa kanila at iba pang paglabag. Ang mga manggagawa ay patuloy na nagtuturo at nag-organisa ng ibang mga caregiver na maaaring makaranas ng katulad na kararanas ng pagnanakaw ng sahod o iba pang anyo ng pagsasamantala sa kanilang mga trabaho. Marami ay sumali na sa migrante at iba pang mga organisasyon sa kabila ng takot o mga alalahanin na hinaharap ng ilan sa ating mga komunidad sa panahon nito. Nagpatuloy ang mga manggagawa sa Amity ng kanilang pagsumisikap para sa katurungan. Sila ay nagsisilbing inspirasyon para sa marami pang ibang manggagawa para magkaisa, mag-organisa, at ipaglaban ang kanilang mga karapatan. Ang wage theft ay hindi lang nangyayari sa mga Amity workers. Ito ang dinadanas din namin sa trabaho ko sa isang Filipino grocery chain kung saan hindi man lang nabibigay ang tamang breaks kahit 12 hours na kami nagtatrabaho. O sa palitang din kami pinagtatrabaho off the clock dahil sa sandamakmak na gawain. May isang kuya, nasa 17 years sa amin,
Never siya nabigyan ng 10-minute break. At palagi siyang pinagtrabaho ng 1 oras bago siya mag-clock in kada araw. Ilang halimbawa lang ito ng iba't ibang klase ng abuso na dinadanas ng migranteng Pilipino sa trabaho. Mga migranteng Pilipino na umalis sa inang bayan para makahanap ng maayos ng trabaho para sa kinabukasan ng pamilya nila. Ngunit mailang mga manggagawa na hindi alam na sila ay biktima ng wage theft o na mayroong silang karapatan mabayaran sa tamang oras at higit sa lahat, may karapatan mag-organisa at lumaban para sa mas mabuting kondisyon bilang manggagawa. Bilang migrante, kami ang nakikiisa sa manggagawa sa kanilang mga kahilingan na bayaran sila ng tamang sahod at para ang Amity in-home care services at si Nancy Reyes ay managot. Patuloy tayong mag-aabante mula sa tagumpay na ito upang hikatin ang iba na mag-organisa, lumaban at ipagtanggol ang lahat mga magagawang migrante. Bilang isang organisasyon na nakaugat ang trabaho sa kondisyon sa Pilipinas, kinikilala rin namin na bukas ay isang mahalagang makasaysayang araw para sa lahat ng mga Pilipino. February 25 ay ang anibersaryo ng People Power. At habang nagtitipon kami ngayon para sa action na ito, ang aming mga komunidad sa Pilipinas ay nagdiriwang para sa anibersaryo ng People Power. Ito ay pag-aalsa na nagdala ng isang malawakang kilusan ng milyon-milyong mga tao na tumindig laban sa katiwalian at kawalan ng katarungan na nagwakas sa 2 dekada diktadurya ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos ng Pilipinas noong 1986. Ngayon, ang mga Amity workers kasama sa mga sinusuporta sa kampanya nila ay nagpapatuloy sa legasiya ng pag-oorganisa at nagsisilbing tunay na testamento sa importansya ng pabuo ng people power. Kailangan natin magkaisa para ipaglaban ang batayang karapatan natin bilang migranteng manggagawang Pilipino. Kung di tayo lalaban para sa pagbabago, walang magbabago. Pero pag nakaisa tayo, malakas ang dagundong natin bilang isang kilusan na migranteng Pilipino sa ibayong dagat. Migranteng Pilipino! Ngayon ay lumalaban! Migranteng Pilipino! Ngayon ay lumalaban! Salamat po.
Uri manggagawa!
Oh, they asked me to translate. Actually, ito yung first... Hindi po. Ito? Ay, kanina yan. Oh. They asked me to translate in English. The essence is we're here to really celebrate the victory of the Amity caregivers, of Migrante, of the community in their fight against exploitation and wage theft. In LA, where they call it the wage theft capital of America, where over $1 billion are stolen from workers every year. And we know that wage theft disproportionately affects women and migrant workers. For me, as a worker in the food industry at a Filipino grocery store, we've had our different experiences of wage theft, where workers are working 12 to 16 hours without 10-minute or 30-minute breaks, or are working 1 hour before they clock in off the clock, and are not being paid for it. This is why it's so important to take inspiration from the different Amity caregivers for standing up for their rights. Because there are so many migrant Filipinos that are scared to fight. But when they see others stand up and fight for their basic rights, they also, meron silang lakas ng loob. They get the courage, confidence to also be able to fight alongside the community. And we've seen the different ways that they've been able to educate themselves and other workers about the basic rights that we all deserve. But we know that migrant workers, when they come here, they're prone to exploitation because they have to send money back home. They endure the exploitative conditions because of the economic crisis back home in the Philippines that forced them to leave in the first place. And that's why it's important for us to not just fight for the rights and welfare of our kababayan dito, but also for livelihood back home. So we don't have to leave our families, so that we can have actual employment, and so we don't have to go abroad where we experience these abusive conditions as migrant workers. And it's also an important day today. In the Philippines, it's already the February 25, the anniversary of People Power. And we see here the strength of People Power, where the Amity caregivers and all the community supporters, I think we're like, what? There's like 100, 200 supporters and many more people that have contributed to the campaign, showing the importance of what happens when people come together, what kind of change we can really make. Lasting and genuine change. And for us, in Migrante, we also just want to push forward the fact that if we don't fight for a change, the change isn't going to come. But in the active struggle for our rights, for our welfare, for justice, that is the true solution to finding lasting peace, lasting freedom for us here and for our family back home in the Philippines. And so that's the essence. That's the essence.
Ngayon ay lumalaban! Ngayon ay lumalaban! Ng bayan! Uring manggagawa! Bukbong mapagpalaya! Bukbong mapagpalaya! Uring manggagawa!
All right. Thank you, Nell and Migrante San Fernando Valley, for showing us the importance of people power and how it's not just something that happened in history, but it's something that continues every single day, that we choose to get involved, that we organize, and that we fight for caregivers and all workers. So now we will open it up to the media for any questions, and then Tagalog interpretation will be provided also by other members of Migrante South Bay. So we can open it up for questions.
Nazi, you're no good! Treat your workers like you should! Nazi, you're no good! Treat your workers like you should!
Yeah, so this is an opportunity for media, or if anybody has some questions. I know there's other community-based or media organizations here as well, so feel free to answer those questions. And then also the workers and others involved in the campaign will also be available for interviews after the press conference. Yes.
Has there been a public response from the Philippine consulate, knowing that many caregivers are Philippine nationals, and that Nancy Reyes is also a relatively well-known business person? So I'm just curious if they've responded.
So the question was, has there been any response from the Philippine consulate, knowing that Nancy Reyes, the CEO of Amity, is a Filipino national, and that also that the former Amity caregivers are also Filipino nationals?
No answer yet. but we are planning to send them the letter for the consulate. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Just to add also, Migrante South Bay is planning to draft a letter of clarification from the Philippine Consulate to see if they are in solidarity with the workers and also to follow up on the assistance to nationals.
All right. And then are there any other questions from the community or from the media?
We know we've been hearing a lot of amazing people talk about this for the last 5 years. Has Nancy been exploiting her workers for the before 2020, as far as we know?
Would you like to?
Did you want to add anything to that?
Oh yeah, she's been doing this. Oh,
I'll speak, sorry. Hi, I'm Kelsey Chappell, the Betzetic Legal Services. This citation only covers about the last 3 years, but this investigation by the Labor Commissioner's Office has been going on for the last year. So it's a culmination of many years of investigation. This citation is for over 50 workers. A 3-year period, yes. It covers failure to provide minimum wage, overtime, rest and meal breaks, and also over $500,000 in penalties for misclassifying workers and denying them their rights. Thank you.
Just for clarification, is there a 3-year statute of limitations, or is there a...
Yes, for most of the penalties, there is a 3-year statute of limitations.
All right. Any other questions? Oh, yes.
Yes, the KTLA 5. We want to know, so is this business owned by someone who is it a foreign owned business, or is it owned by someone who's a US citizen? Can you give us a quick background, please, just on Nancy Reyes and the business? Thank you.
Yeah, so I don't know what the owner's status is, but then, she is a Filipino, also who, and these violations have been committed against other Filipino workers. Yeah. Okay. Are there any other questions from the media? Okay, and so once again, then the people will be available for interviews after this, and so we just want to thank everyone once again for joining us today. The Amity caregivers today are examples of workers who have dedicated their lives to providing essential care to some of the most vulnerable in our communities and ensuring our families and loved ones will be taken care of. They did not fight this battle alone, though. They joined forces with other community-based organizations, legal advocates, and allies who provided support every step of the way. And so some of those organizations here today, we want to give a special thanks once again to Betzetic Legal Services, to the California Domestic Workers Coalition, to APEN, Kappa Psi Epsilon, DSA Long Beach, PSL, and the Cal State Dominguez Hills Labor Studies Department. And then last but not least, we want to also give a very special shout out to Migrante USA, Gabriela USA, Anakbayan USA, Malaya USA, and the PUSO, Philippine-U.S. Solidarity Organization. All right. So together with all of these organizations who were present here and who have been present all along the way since we met these workers in 2022, together these workers challenged an employer who had taken advantage of their labor and denied them what they were rightfully owed. This case represents the power of grassroots organizing. It shows us that when workers unite with the backing of strong community networks, they can hold their employers accountable. It's a reminder that no matter how tough the fight may seem, change is possible when workers come together for a common cause. Today, we heard from some of the workers who led this fight along with the community organizations that supported them. We learned about the challenges they faced, the importance of grassroots action, and what this victory means, not just for them, but for workers everywhere. It's their leadership in this fight and their willingness to stand up for justice that serves as an inspiration to all who believe in fairness and dignity for workers. So once again, we want to thank everyone for coming out today, and this concludes the press conference.
The people united will never be defeated. Will never be defeated. The people united. The workers united will never be defeated. Will never be defeated. The workers united.
Hello, ako po si Lester from Migrante South Bay. On behalf of Amity workers and members of Migrante South Bay, we now invite you to join us a very short walk as we deliver the 2.3 million citation poster to Nancy office. This is the same Amity office where the workers would be asked to pick up their paycheck, only to find out there's insufficient funds or bounce check. After the delivery of the copy of citation, former Amity workers will also lead in speak out to share more how they feelings. Let's go! Let Nancy know that Amity and community is here right now. What do you want?
Justice!
How do you want it?
Now!
What do you want?
Justice!
Where do you want it?
Treat your workers like you should.
Amity! Amity! You're no good!
Treat your workers like you should. When I say justice, you say now. Justice! 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 Tell me what you want, what you really want. Tell me what you need, what you really need. How we gonna get it? 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 What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Tell me what you want, what you really want.
Justice!
Tell me what you need, what you really need.
Justice!
How we gonna get it?
People power!
How we gonna get it?
People power!
The people united
Will never be defeated!
will never be defeated.
The people united!
CEO Nancy, you're no good.
Treat your workers like you should!
CEO Nancy, you're no good.
Treat your workers like you should!
Amity, Amity, you're no good.
Treat your workers like you should!
When workers' rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When workers' rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What we gonna do?
Stand up, fight back. Who got the power?
We got the power!
What kind of power?
Nancy, you're no good.
Treat your workers like you should.
CEO Nancy, you're no good.
Treat your workers like you should.
CEO Nancy, you're no good.
Treat your workers like you should.
Amity, you're no good.
Treat your workers like you should.
Amity, you're no good.
Treat your workers like you should.
When I say justice, you say now. Justice.
Now.
Justice.
Now.
Justice.
Now.
Justice.
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
When workers' rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When workers' rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What you want, what you really want.
Justice.
Tell me what you need, what you really need.
Justice.
How we gonna get it?
People power.
How we gonna get it?
People power.
Tell me what you really want.
Justice.
Tell me what you need, what you really
We
need.
lost it.
How we gonna get it?
People power.
How we gonna get it?
People power.
All right, y'all, turn around so that we can send a message to Amity, to Nancy. Oh, they locked that door. What you scared of, girl? CEO Nancy, you're no good.
Treat your workers like you
I
should.
said, CEO Nancy, you're no good.
Treat your workers like you should.
CEO Nancy, you're no good.
Treat your workers like you should.
CEO Nancy, you're no good.
Treat your workers like you should.
Why are you taking a video of us?
Shame!
Looks like Nancy's scared of people power. Make some noise! We got the power!
Maki baka!
Wag matakot!
Wag matakot!
Maki baka!
Maki baka!
Huwag matakot.
Wag matakot!
Maki baka.
When I say justice, you say now. Justice.
Now.
Justice.
Now.
Justice.
Now.
Justice.
Now.
CEO Nancy, you're no good.
Treat your workers like you should.
CEO Nancy, you're no good.
Treat your workers like you should.
Now we will begin our speak out. I will call Ate Lorna, former Amity workers, to share a brief statement.
Hi, good morning everyone. I'm Lorna. My name is Lorna. I worked with Amity for over a year, but I experienced what other caregivers experience, like bouncing tick, insufficient funds, and Nancy's note saying, "Call me before depositing." And other alibis that prevent us from depositing our check right away. To CEO Nancy Reyes, we are tired of your excuses and alibis. As workers, we deserve dignity and respect. Nancy, you should pay your workers what you owe. We work hard and we deserve to be paid on time. I've heard so many caregivers' stories, so many complaints, the hardship caregivers experience while waiting for their salaries. I felt their pain because our wages as caregivers are really low and our only source of income. One caregiver, a mother with children to feed, told me she could not pay the rent and bills on time. She's afraid to be evicted because she's late paying her rent every month when Nancy fails to pay us. Another caregiver was supposed to go home after her shift, but she told me she could not go home because she didn't have enough money to put gas in her car because Nancy was late with her paycheck. I I offered her money so she can put gas in her car to go home. Because of that story, I cannot turn my back on other workers and ignore the with tips we've experienced. There's a desire to help them and myself too. I learned about my rights from the Filipino migrant. I talked with Steve and Nico of Gabriela Southby because I wanted to file a complaint against Amity in home care services to the Department of Labor. Together, we decided to email all the caregivers of Amity to invite them to join the campaign. That's the beginning of our With Steve campaign. Thank you. Thank you to all caregivers who joined. Remember, every one of us came here to work to help our families back home to survive and to try to achieve the American dream. But life as a caregiver is stressful because employers like Nancy do not pay us for our wages. Instead, they abuse us. They make our lives miserable. Oftentimes, without our wages, we would still have to work even more. We even lost sleep at night, worrying about what's gonna happen to us tomorrow if we don't get paid on time. To all caregivers, be resilient, be proud of yourself of uniting together to fight back and voice out the truth. Don't be afraid. We are fighters and survivors. When we fight for our rights, we can win. Thank you to all the caregivers who joined the campaign. Thank you, especially to Kirchi, Chapel of Bitsidik, and Yvonne. You're great. Lastly, thank you to Filipino Migrant Center, Gabriela Southby, Migrante Southby, Malaya, LBC, and everyone supporting our With Steve at Amity campaign. Together, we're going to win justice.
Amity! Amity! You're no good!
Your name?
I'm Lorna. My name is Lorna.
Last name?
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ate Lorna, for your statement and for your ongoing courage to fight back. Next, we want to invite Ate Presi from Migrante South Bay to share a few words with us.
Okay, first of all, I want to say something. I know Nancy called the police for us, but I want to finish my speech. Hi, again, my name is Presi, a previous caregiver of Amity in home care. Migrante services from Migrante South Bay. We are delivering the citation for Amity in the amount of 2.3 million against Amity in home care. This is where we usually pick our check 2 times a month. But unfortunately, I'm not sure if I could get my money, which make me feel stressed because I cannot pay my bills on time. Nancy owes 2.3 million. This is a lot of money to stole from our blood and sweat. Now the time is here. It's payback time, Nancy. Noon sinabi mo sa akin na para kang bata na inagawan ko ng tinapay. Anong ibig mong sabihin? Wala akong utang na loob sa'yo dahil business ang binuksan mo, hindi charity. Di ba umasenso ang buhay mo sa pamamagitan naming mga caregiver mo? Bakit mo kami sinusumbatan? Sa mga katulad kong caregiver and other workers, huwag kayong matakot. dahil may mga organisasyon na handang tumulong sa atin tulad ng Migrante South Bay, Filipino Migrant Center at marami pang iba na patuloy na tumutulong at lumalaban para sa kapakanan ng bawat manggagawa.